Thank you, very good. I think before I start, let me say a very big thank you to the leadership of SB Telecoms and Devices Limited and the Tams Group for making this happen. This is definitely the kind of thing that needs to happen. This is about, what you say, doing well and doing good at the same time. This was a very important thing that they've done. I think that, recently the Nigerian government acknowledged that we've gone into 2 quarters of what you call declining growth, and that's usually what leads to what you call a recession. So it's a negative growth, and so Nigeria is in a recession, technically speaking. I think the question has always been, what do organizations do when the country is in recession, or the economy is in recession? We've seen that there are 2 kinds of things that can typically happen. Number 1 is that they can grow their way out of recession, or number 2, that they can literally go down with the recession. Many organizations in the world today that we celebrate were born either in recession or grew in recession. So whether it's General Electric, Microsoft, Hyatt group of companies, the hotel giants, you can think about the Burger King. Almost each and every one of them was born in recession. And then you see also Apple, you see several companies that I mentioned today that actually have grown in spite of recession. Facebook, there's several companies. So you find out that recession by itself is not really some kind of sealed fate for every organization. So if it is not recession, then what is it? And we realize that it's actually the mind frame that people go into recession with or operate with when they're in recession. Today, I think that was one of the things we try to help them understand, that there are 2 kinds of people in any organization. There are leaders who are not necessarily leaders because they have the authority of management, but because they have a mindset of leadership, which is usually in ownership, accountability, and responsibility. And then there are just employees who are just looking for what they can get out of the organization. And as HR managers, to optimize the performance of your people, you're going to need to really start thinking of, how do we find people who have a leadership mindset, and how do we empower them? How do we enable them? And then how do we also then infuse the leadership mindset into those who don't have it? And for those who refuse to become leaders, who can come up with ideas, who can innovate, who can find ways to cut down costs in what they do, who can find ways to do better at what they do, to make it faster, to make it cheaper, to make it more convenient. Those who refuse to play that game cannot survive with the organization, because if they remain in the organization, they're going to die. So the whole of today was really talking about the mind frame that creates this optimizing performance. And that mind frame is called leadership. We gave one major case study, an organization that was born in recession, but also grew in recession. So this was GE. Jack Welch in 1981, literally when the US had just come out of this huge, greatly turbulent time. General Electric was losing money in tons. The market value of General Electric had collapsed to $12 billion. This was an organization that was founded by Thomas Edison in 1876. And so, cut the long story short, in 20 years, Jack Welch was able to get that organization to turn around and grow by 4,000%. That organization grew in 20 years from 12 billion to over $540 billion. Jack Welch was considered the manager of the century. And so we said, what did Jack Welch know that everybody else didn't? And it was in a little secret that he gave. He said, it is not people that are your company's greatest assets, it's leaders. And he started the conversation about this leadership that was not about authority of management, but the capacity of people to deliver great results. And so every organization that has great leaders will optimize its performance. And I think that I hope that that's what we were able to do with these guys. It's just to inspire them on how to raise leaders. But the one thing that I must say very quickly is that it's impossible for you to give what you don't have. So if the HR manager does not first become a leader, then it's going to be impossible for them to be able to mobilize and inspire people to be leaders. So the first and most important thing that I said to them was, you have to have the mind frame of a leader and not think of yourself as just somebody who's there to rubber stamp the people that they have hired or fired. Or there's much more to managing resources and people in a time of recession than what is on the HR manager's job description. And that's basically what we dealt with today. And we talked on a few values that define the culture of an organization and how to drive those values through. And I believe that the people will be able to make great things happen. Oh, I mean, absolutely. I think that this one of the great things that came out was understanding that managing or ruling people is different from leading and inspiring them. And whilst rulers typically drive fear into their system, and it does nothing but shut down the capacity of your people, it suppresses their abilities, it suppresses their potential, you know. But if you inspire the people, if you put faith in their hearts to say, listen, we will get through to the other side, but not only are we going to survive, we're going to grow through this recession. And growth is like a channel. You know, I was sharing with them, I said, if I tune to CNN, I expect news. If I tune to the sports channel, Brilla FM, I expect to hear sports. If I tune into MTV, I expect music, right? Growth is a channel, and I tune into growth. I expect opportunities, and I see them. So one of the things I was helping them to understand is, don't go and tell your people to survive. Don't threaten your people. Inspire them to want to do great things. And that's where their mind will begin to open up. They will see opportunities for growth. They will see amazing things. And I think that what the SBT&D has done with this and the Tams group with this conference is really to get that message across. And if it's anything like the feedback I heard from the people, I'm sure that they're going to do amazing things. Thank you.